Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are here continuing our Kiev into Ruthenia run. Doing pretty good so far, actually. Let's take a look at what we need to form Ruthenia. Obviously, we started this as part of our charity stream for Ukraine. Looks like we have a lot of the land we do need to form this. Better would be forming Russia, but we're going to form Ruthenia anyways. Or this is the plan. Russia, I do think, has stronger content. There's nothing for Ruthenia that we can gain access to. I do think... Wow, what a Chad. We have a guy who has architectural visionary. Did we... We are a republic, though. Okay, interesting. Now, we could put our guy in charge of the army. I think he's already got a naval trait, so we probably should. For the 25% crown power. What a day, huh? Yep. What a day. I don't know too much about what's going on yet, in terms of details, but I do know that the fighting has started in Iran. So, trying to take stock of what we have going on here already. The coal is quite nice. Also, I've played like 20 or 30 hours of Novgorod, and so I don't want to get like the wires crossed in terms of what we have going on. Looks like we've valued just kind of pushing up the pops, which makes a lot of sense. Here. We're using Dev Kiev, Dev Orich. Seems fine. We haven't started to push back from plutocracy. It's not the worst. Tax efficiency is really nice. Was coming to the realization while playing Novgorod, though, that, trade efficiency is really nice. But, like, trade efficiency is, like, not very helpful when you're trading furs. Like, if your margin is 1 ducat and you're trading a fur for... You're selling a 1 ducat fur for 2 ducats versus selling gold for 9 ducats to 10 ducats, trade efficiency is going to be 5 times as useful on the gold than it will be on the furs, even though the margin of the trade is identical. Bombs in a lot of places in the region. That's about all the concrete info we have. Yeah. I think it's probably a case of the tail wagging the dog, but I don't really know yet. 22 confirmed locations on Iran. Estimated 40. At least 8 countries have been hit in retaliation, mostly US bases. But also hotels, airports, civilian houses, also closed. They closed the Strait of Hormuz. You mean STRAIT closed, or something else? Between Novgorod, Kiev, and Muscovy, who would you most recommend? Well, so long-term, I think you actually want the capital somewhere around Kiev. And I'm not sure exactly where you want it. It might be, like, just north of Kiev, 1 blip, or something like this. I do think that, like, of this entire, like, greater region, like, Kiev is just the best location for a capital. Or if not there, like, here, or here, or here, like, this type of thing. Having to push through the forest is probably not ideal, but it's probably not the worst. You have a bunch of grassland down this way. But you overcome actually, you overcome vegetation with roads, so where to put the capital is like... The thing is, there's a ton of iron and good stuff down here. Where to put the markets is a little bit complicated, though, because the markets are going to... You don't want them going over the forest or through the forest, really. And I've been trying to figure out... Krakow comes down this way. But where does it go? Maybe to Bells, actually. And then I think Kiev comes down like this way, and then somewhere between the two is probably the best place for a capital. Maybe in here. First time viewing live. Hello, hello. Welcome, Dice. Kiev would be a better location of the castle system if the river actually worked. No, you're right. The presence of the rivers makes it so you either want, like... And you can't overcome topography with roads. So yeah, it probably is just Kiev. I think you do want to maybe move the market down, like, this way, though. You want your market to be touching the coast, which Kiev doesn't start with. I'm thinking here we might move the market too. Not super far off, but this combined with moving the Kaffa market. I don't know, that starts to get away from the iron a little bit though. The iron is so valuable. What if we move the market the other way? What if we just said we want the market in the middle of all the iron? We want the market like right here. On the fruit. Could have two markets. See, the issue is then we wouldn't be... It's like a really awkward arrangement of markets. And we thought through this a lot on the Novgorod run. The issue is the Moskva market doesn't get to reach anything. It's gonna be like uber painfully landlocked. Alright, what are we researching? Looks like we have a decent income. I don't know why we haven't... I guess we don't have guys who are that competent. But he's okay. Deving, iron, amber, and wool. What happened to make shorter guide videos? I haven't done that many... I haven't done that many guides just in general recently. You know that Strait of Hormuz has been closed? Navy been broadcasting the radio. Only some of the traffic's been diverted. They haven't attacked ships yet. The Navy's also been struck. Well, I'm not sure how much they'll be attacking ships as much as they'll just mine the entire thing. I'm a new player. I see a lot of people talking about Kiev is strong, but they have no content, right? No, they have content. It's just on their culture. And then you form Russia. Mainly, it's the East Slavic and Slavic that's strong. We actually probably could swap to Veche. What's the requirement on Veche? Is it just that we're a republic? But yeah, I've been, I have notes for a market thing, but I've been keen to see if they reverse the rivers for the purposes of market access. If they reverse the, like, change to rivers. Because that affects how you process stuff. Here, what's... And, like, as it stands right now, the fact that you went upriver is... Actually, what the hell? Is this entire river just broken? Okay, right now, the way that it works is it's incentivizing you to be upriver, which is something that it was, like, before release, and then they changed it, and now it's back. I don't think this change is intended, and it kind of affects where you want markets, but markets are something I was thinking of making a video for both, long and short. And they also have Cossack stuff, yeah. I'm to the point where planning markets in the region got rather annoying, especially around the steppes in Siberia. Yeah, markets in general were just a huge struggle. Like, having these internal landlocked markets is really bad. Because you're incentivized to go naval. And it may be the case that you actually only want 50 naval or something like this. As like Russia. Just enough to get the extra governors. But this trade range used over land modifier is like, bro. It's very painful. This is like, the more I play with the values of like this type of stuff, the more that this seems like the high impact thing. How do you feel about Pskov market and shift Moscow to river? Forget where Pskov is. I don't really like it. You would need Riga and Novgorod in different places. Riga could come down this way, though. And that would be fine. This kind of area wants a market. I kind of think that I like a market like here, though. There's so much iron. Iron's just really valuable. And if you did that, then Pskov could maybe make sense. The thing is, you don't really benefit from the lake. And something a little bit more internal would maybe even be better, like down here. And then instead of Novgorod, you have maybe a market over here-ish. Or more here, because you're running into the Arctic now. The way, like... I was also thinking Muscovite market comes down this way, Kiev market comes down this way, Krakow market comes to the right. And then there's like a market in here. And keeping Riga in the same spot. I opted for land because I figured the 50% malice was not worth it if I directly owned Siberia. Yeah, that might be true. The thing is getting 2 extra governors is a big deal. But you might just want 50% naval only. So you only get half the malice. It just seems like, yeah, increasingly, like, you just, like, look at these markets, like, not being able to do anything or trade with anyone, and you're just like, this seems like an issue. Looks like we have some roads building that we built. Yes, please. Now we can go universal serfdom. I don't think that's this age, right? Could we swatch to Sveche succession? No. Oh, it's that we can't afford. We could swap to Veche succession. We still need to push naval. We're just not in any rush to do it. Could swap to Veche Succession, though. Be able to guarantee architectural visionaries. Alright. How would you do the kill watch achievement? Sorry, I saw your comment this morning earlier. What's the requirement for the kill watch achievement? You have to have the biggest market in the world. I really don't want to do the world conquest. Is Egypt the only way? The last enchantment I need. Desperate here. Desperate. Yeah, I mean, Egypt seems the best way to do it. Market value, I think, is just the value of the goods, so they don't even need good market access. You could just, like, go to Egypt and then delete all the surrounding markets just to get the achievement. Happy affiliate anniversary? Thank you, thank you. I didn't even realize. As a naval governor in Stockholm, the only naval governor I plan, might see about putting one to the south if going naval. Yeah, I mean, I think you just get 2 extra governors, so you're just super pleased to do it. And, like, one could go in Constantinople. Or Crimea. I watched your East Africa video, by the way. Thank you, thank you. So we will get up to 50 Republican tradition, so we can swap to Veche Succession. How old's this guy? This guy's old too. War with Vladimir if we want it. You're not using our diplomats. Oh my god. There we go. I guess Cherniv would be the first thing we would want to annex. I think we're already accepting these 2. So let's annex these guys. Guess I'll try conquer Egypt, although it feels like trying to kill a mammoth. Just save up money and get a bunch of mercs. It's really easy. Like, mercs are so overtuned right now. Or not overtuned necessarily, but the AI just does not understand how to utilize them. To be fair, mercs were great before. Like, it was always, like, the case that, like, they would help to push you over the edge of, like, whether or not you can win a conflict, but now that they're, like... now that they're, like, only 5% the price that they were before, it's just, like, turbo insane. You know? I think in general, wild game, we want to urbanize every single one. Looks like we've already done that. I honestly, like, have, like, no recollection of playing. Definitely focused on things other than playing last stream. Can you make your own international organization HRE style with your vassals? No. You could not. The way that they phrased it initially, like, made it sound like you could. Like, in the Tinto talks. But, like, you can make IOs to some degree. But only, you can only make IOs, like, that are, personal unions or whatever. If we start focusing on annexing these boys, we can get to Ruthenia faster. We already have Vulcanian accepted too, so we don't have to do anything weird. I guess we're kind of chilling. I use them to get out of sticky situations. I mean, now I think you just like... Oh no, no. We wanted to change our succession law before he died. Okay. We'll probably pick someone old. Oh, this guy's got the best stats, though. And Incorruptible's not bad. He's so much younger, though. And we don't have boats to put the guys out to pasture on. I think we'll just take the oldest guy. God, how did we flip Republic so fast? Wow, when we actually care about Republican tradition, just when we needed him most, he abandoned us. Will you do a China video for EU5 soon? I don't know about soon, but it's definitely on the list of countries I need to do something about with. Oh, we couldn't annex this guy because we were already annexing this guy. We already have the plans. I guess Lithuania is kind of the person we have to fight. Yeah, let's actually get our patriarchate stuff in. Ooh, it is nice we have crown characters though. Oh, this is so nice. Alright. If we go Veche Republic, we lose access to the Crown Power characters effectively, so... See, watch this bump up. Oh, baby. So Lithuania has a ton of overlap with Ruthenia requirements. So if we annex a couple other things and then just take all this in one war, then we can release subjects after forming. Someone posted a Kilwa guide on Reddit an hour ago. Guess I'm lucky. That'll do it. I played Mighty Empire of the Ottomans. Godspeed. Hey, Happy Shaft, how's it going? annexation on. Can't urbanize it. Okay, have we accepted the other group? We have. We do have some CBs. Who's giving us the Ottoman CB though? What have we done? What have we done? I mean, long term, putting a governor here makes a lot of sense. I think that's what we had in mind, maybe. Hey, Joe Pro, how's it going? Thank you for the affiliate anniversary. Affiliate-versary. How you doing? What catalyst do you wait for to transition from trad to capital economy? Probably want to be capital economy by the time you get the book text. I don't know though, because I think you actually want to swap to capital economy and then swap back. And so I think it's a little bit complicated. But when you get the workshop text for both books and paper, by then you probably want capital economy, because that's like a huge spike. And it's much spikier if you're cap economy. But with the caveat that you need book demand for that to be good. If you don't have the demand for the books, then it's not very good. So like the power spike when we played Kilwa was like virtually non-existent. Yeah, starting to annex this guy was a mistake because we don't have the is bigger than them bonus. We could just cancel. Yeah, that was my bad. We are paying for a Diplo slider. Is there another city somewhere? Lviv. We care about where there's a city. We care about where there's cities because we want to be able to put down another governor, I think, over here. And Lviv would be nice. Couple of years to Parliament, we could go for it. Cradicon seems to find its strength in pop growth, which feels like a V-shaped value curve. What do you mean by V-shaped? I mean, the pop capacity helps a little bit for the pop growth. So does the food production as well. But like raw materials output, it's more important to have production efficiency than raw materials output. But as you get more and more production efficiency, because raw materials output is kind of like multiplicatively effective with it, then you start wanting more production efficiency, and you tend to get more as time goes on. Is there any reason to not flip government as the Ottomans, like to a theocracy? Not that I know of. But I would not be shocked if content was locked behind being a monarchy. Also, I think Ottomans has... Well, I think Ottomans has sources of legitimacy. There's legitimacy on... You can get up to 0.2 legitimacy from just Sunni alone. Although I don't think it's ideal. Because you have to give up getting the dev Maliki or whatever. But I think the Ottomans also have sources of legitimacy. And if you can stack enough of it, this really offsets, like, by far the biggest reason to go for, Republic or theocracy is not having to pay your slider. And so if you have something that gives you legitimacy, oh, it's so good. Malikane. Do they really not have any... Wow. No content for legitimacy. Slava Ukraina, basically. Oh, basically. I think we have the issue of not having any stone. Yeah. And then we were auto-expanding in the province with clay, the masonry. Currently have a masonry surplus, but it's not massive. I'm gonna auto-expand a couple other masons here. In a province with clay. Watching Novgorod video right now, the senior partner in a PU, most GP score will host Crown Power characters as far as I know. I thought it was something like that, but I wasn't exactly sure. Then we had more GP score than England, because we hosted England's character repeatedly during that run, which is kind of weird. We're 116% over limit. Holy shit. I guess there's not much reason to do Conquest right now. That's a lot over limit. I think we... This is where we have the most upgraded pops. I like this map mode a lot. The, like, unused peasants map mode, basically. Peasant percentage. You don't pay for legitimacy with older rulers. It's an event where you choose between truth, faith, tolerance, something else, and legitimacy. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we can currently see masonry is expensive, but we have a surplus. So it's going to be coming down. Wow, that's so much monthly literacy. It's going to be nice for our rural areas. not have burgers there? We gotta wait for the collapse, but... Would be 0.5 legitimacy if you chose it? Oh, that's insanely high. Legitimacy can be dropped to 0 as long as you have 15 stab. That way the only disaster you can get is the assassination attempt, which is like minus 20 crown and cabinet efficiency for 5 years. Can you really just pay for stab and then avoid it? So silly. I mean, it's like, legitimacy being a double equilibrium feels really bad, just generally. Which is like, what I mean by that is like, you either want to pay for 0, you either want it at 0 or 100, and there's no middle ground. I don't think we were planning anything that was going to take stab. Are we paying for stab? Why do we have so much gain? Yeah, we don't need to pay for this shit. Unless there's some reason... I feel like there's some reason why we were doing that, but I can't remember. This would have been nice when we were trying to push the thing. Crown power is good for us right now as a republic. It's a little bit hard for us to get. Perfect. We're gonna avoid doing that. So we got more spread. In Age of 4 as Ottomans without scaling, I'm almost at +1 legitimacy. I might change schools to get there. Ham gives you legitimacy too. Crazy. Halababa. What a great name. Halababa. Thank you for the well wishes. How many subjects do you have? A lot. What's it to you? Over our capacity. This is starting to really negatively affect us. could do another thing, but we would have to eat pretty bad penalty. Yeah, these guys we have the much smaller modifier, but not the other guys. And we could also just take some land and hold on to it to make our annexations faster. Well, we would just like free ducats, yeah. This will be nice for us. Yeah, 23%, let's go, let's go! Too late for GTA 6, just in time for World War 3? Not like this. Is he Ruthenia yet? Not yet. Thinking about decking on Lithuania, though. With dubious claims, though, perhaps not. How'd that get in there? Ural nobles. Can't wait for this guy to die. Guess we do this right now. It's not gonna matter, but it gives us a little bit of prestige. Check out our content. Are we in charge of the tenants? Yeah. Okay. We'll get that set up as well. Kinda did it too slower than we should have on the Novgorod run. If that rebellion lasts a long time, maybe you declare on the Ural nobles for free land. Can you declare on... Can't declare war on a revolter. Otherwise, yeah. Minsk ought to have claims, yeah. We don't want to use the bad CB, but we kind of want to do that war. We just have to hold on to the stuff itself. I've not tried that yet, good to know, yeah. That's how they get ya. Okay. Masonry's cheap now, though. So we wanted a market village here. Is that a full collapse for us? Yeah, it is. Please give us burgers in the location is the idea, which will give us about like 10% dev growth. In addition to the building, also giving food. Also gives food. think we maybe want to set up more of food in general. If food gives you a lot of pop growth, or sorry, not food, farming villages. A lot of flat pop growth. Which if your pops are high, you don't care about, but... It's not a very good way for us to make it profitable, though. I wish the food system, like, just have a general issue in that, like, when food in the market becomes expensive, the food RGOs should make you more money, and they just don't. In, like, a semi-direct fashion. Yeah, it looks like we kind of have the right idea here, though. Just this is newly annexed stuff, so it's not set up. Okay. Really low pops. Do you have access to... settlements? AI doesn't like building bridges anymore. Yeah. I don't think our prox really stretches that far. Or just barely does. Yeah. I think we expect to keep rural. We should add one of these. Something like that. Okay. Now Kiev, we already have 3 industries auto-expanding. Here we have 2. If we add a 3rd, what would it be? Paper looks good. So if paper's expensive, let's find a place with lumber. Paper cares at least a little bit about lumber. We find another place. Wow, do we really not have that many lumber RGOs? In my head, we have like infinite. We're just like in a spot where you don't have them. Alright. Maybe a place that doesn't have too good for inputs. Let's do Paper Makers Guild and then already books there. Two industries, 0 industries here. Let's make books. Let's make paper here. We're already making paper. We're halfway there. Whoa! We're halfway there. I find that mechanic a bit weird and clunky. Why can we not declare war on a revolter? I think it would be so annoying to be playing a country and then having a revolt and then having someone deck on the revolter and then annex their shit. Thank you, Hikari Frost, for the well wishes. Much appreciated. Yeah, I can imagine a scenario that led to that. And I think I don't have a problem with it. We are trying to save up religious influence now. Trying to work it in. The legumes and the fruit are the things we can urbanize. Let's do it. Just would rather urbanize things that have more pops. The clay might be one that you don't want to urbanize anymore. We already urbanized one clay. Or it starts out urban. I think we could auto-expand RGO in the capital is probably going to be profitable enough for us to do it. Yeah, all low-value RGOs, which is the idea, but... I agree with that. It is just the whole I am immune because I'm a revolter is really weird. I agree that's weird. It's also obnoxious, like, if someone... Well, people... You also can't spawn a revolt if you're at war. So it also avoids other annoying circumstances, I suppose, too. Like, it'd be really annoying if you were attacking someone for something and then the revolter splits off and then you can't take the thing you want. So... But also, sometimes these things get a little bit silly, too. I mean, Cherny is what we would want to annex just to own the territory. It's actually... do some of this. And it's that guy. I was playing Ukraine charity stream, but released this video about 4 we rushed the same day. Not like this. But I don't have a problem with Russia. I have a problem with Putin. I don't have a problem with the Russian people. I can't appreciate the irony, though. That is what had been voted for. People wanted to see Novgorod. So that's what we ended up doing. Start on that guy too. How many more locations do we need? 84, that's not too bad. Wow, it's so funky that, like, Veche Succession's so good that, like, it incentivizes you to go Republic. Maybe I'm grabbing that just for the research speed. You know what's interesting is these things do increase your cost of court scaling. And it's possible that it's meta to not even take pro armies now. This is something we were considering. You just completely skip professional armies. Because, like, okay, what do we want out of professional armies? The tactics. Like, the army is, like, not as important if we can just merc up, right? We could actually skip armory and just wait for barracks. I think eventually you do want a standing army, but you could go trading fields, barracks. But, like, it's just the tactics. And this increases your cost of court scaling. Oh, army maintenance 10% is also really good. Yeah, it's fair enough. But this increases your cost of court scaling. Like, I think that people are maybe not aware of this. But the amount of institutions you embrace increases the cost of your slider. And so, don't you auto get the institution at full spread? Yeah, but we could get research speed in the meantime. Who needs professional armies when you have drones? Big true. And so you would avoid having to pay for an additional, like, 6%. You might not have the military strength, but the econ is significant. For what? That's so much demand-supported tax-based growth. Oh, for the army? That's true, too. When you merc up, you're not creating tax-based growth, but when you have an army, you are. Right? God, just another example of, like, the pops don't get the money and stuff's ungrounded. Hungary only exists in my game because they keep causing revolts in my subject, and I'm never the war leader, so it's hard to have a truce, not to have a truce with them. Will there be any dragging today? I mean, I do not have any prepared dragging of Putin, but I will always be sending strays his way. I think the man is a problem. I think we have multiple problems too. At this point. So the fact that this scales maybe makes it so you don't want to, like, is it worth embracing professional armies for the 2 techs? Even though it increases your, like, slider expenses. I don't know if there is. Army maintenance is real good, though, but it could be the case that you don't want to get, like, you don't want to get professional armies until, like, age 4. The 5% research speed is also really good early on, though. I mean, that's why we're embracing here. Maybe it is worth... I don't know, we'll grab the good stuff. It's kind of interesting to think about that. No idea institutions did that? Yep, they do. Yep. Go for the trade efficiency. That'll probably be the rest of our text for the age. But yep. They do indeed. We're close to being able to put in a, what is it, a tenant. We're gonna go for tenants that increase our, religious stuff. Nice. Real military tax. Getting that 0.01% literacy growth is so needed. Yeah. Doubling it. We can trait farm when our ruler dies, though, for the trait that gives 0.02. Wild game's the worst. Not in an area we have control, though. I think we could actually get more pop growth with granary. It's kind of an interesting question. Does granary give more pop growth than the 0.1 modifier? For the large food storage in province. Well, I mean, we could look at this closely and actually figure it out. Okay, we're getting 0.07 for our current level of storage in this province. But we're getting... We'll call that 0.07 times 5, so 0.35. From the perspective of just this one location, which we're thinking of urbanizing, so 0.35. There's food storage of 650. Towns give 250, and towns give 250 food storage. Granaries give 200. So I think we actually would get more net pop growth urbanizing this and putting granaries down. Man, does rural stuff just suck super hard now then? One of the benefits of keeping stuff rural is the pop growth, but the fact that you can build granaries... Well, Dice, thank you for... Wait, no, it's not the boo-boo. You can build granaries. Dice, thank you for the $5. Much appreciated, my guy. Donated to the Ukrainian Freedom Fund. Thank you so very much for supporting. Also, thanks for the follow 10 hours ago. Welcome back. Urbanizing also increases the max pop in the location. Yes, this too. This too. That's not going to move the needle too much on the pop growth, but yeah. For this location, it would need to be way more filled. But yeah. You just get more pop growth urban because you can build granaries. The thing is you have to build a bunch of masonry. Building a bunch of masonry is not ideal It's also expensive. But I don't like the change where they got rid of the malice for urban areas. For having stuff urban. It no longer gives a food malice. They just said, you know what, you just can build less levels, and that's painful enough. If you go all the way to city, I think it's worth... I think we just generate more pop growth. Just looking at the margin, if this was a town with 2 granaries, I think we would have more pop growth now than we do. And it, like, doesn't really negatively affect the food that much, except you don't get as many max levels, and you can't... Well, the bigger thing is you can't build farming villages, but... We like wool to some extent. I think we might have just actually built this. But also it's good for us to get more locations that can build tools with the iron bonus. Yeah. Urbanize over the fur for the same reason. I don't know. The more I play with granaries, the more I like them. As long as you're low... have a low amount of pops, which we do, relatively. Not like 50, 60,000. I think rural buildings need a slight buff. I don't... Yeah, I mean, I guess I would need, like, the overall design vision for it, because I can't parse what the intended gameplay pattern is. But I think they don't want you to urbanize everything, and right now you're, like, I think pretty incentivized to urbanize, like, literal everything. I think you're still not supposed to, but I think maybe I'm splitting hairs. Like, if in a lot of spots where we don't urbanize, it's like probably pretty marginal. I think like the biggest thing is like there's some premium RGOs, but like there's food too. I don't know. Maybe it's just a change, you know. Granaries get a lot better. Farming villages also give you 100 food storage, though. Food storage just got a lot better this patch. Stockpile 44k. We'll wait. Three ticks, or one more tick, and we'll be able to put in our... this thing. I think we want... one of these gives quite a bit of religious influence. And I don't think making the clergy consume more food for literacy is like any good at all, so we'll do this. And then we will generate a lot more influence. A tick here. With cabinet influencing. Oh wow, we're getting a lot from the thing. Paul Buccini? Thank you for the follow, much appreciated. So many rural buildings need like 1k pops, while there are almost all no pops and the building isn't producing much. There's just so much to gain. Urbanize over rural useless RGOs is really good. Yeah, every useless RGO gets urbanized. So like wild game, like 100% of the wild game we have is gonna get urbanized. There's a lot of like trash RGOs, but like as long as there's like I think you don't turn everything yellow. Hey, I like having to urbanize everything. No more decision basing. Just unga bunga press button. That's fair. The thing is like you don't. I don't know. You like saturate demand too is like a separate thing. Maybe we don't want those livestock urbanized, but we'll just leave it for now. Actually, in a location with iron, maybe it's fine. Market villages. I think we're not urbanizing the horses anytime soon, especially considering we don't actually have proximity over there. For 106. I think the goon squad could handle him. You have to be careful that we don't annex something that has the wrong culture that we don't accept yet. But we're in pretty good shape on that front. This should be an interesting playthrough. I do wish urban buildings took more pops. So many peasants in big cities. Well, like, the dual constraints, I don't know how I would change it. But like, the max building level and, like, the max building level here are weird constraints. And I'm not sure, like, if I were designing the game from the ground up, I'm not sure that's how I would represent things. Because very often, like here, we would love to expand out more stuff in Kiev. What will happen, though, is the second we hit workshops on all of this-ish... Actually, let's not auto-expand this out anymore. I guess we could probably add one more industry. But, like, I mean, maybe this is a... There's a play pattern I don't like very much. And that play pattern is the amount of different building types you can have at a location constricts as the game goes on. And at the very start of the game, you can have, like, max building level, a ton of different industries. And then you need to specialize more and more. But maybe this is by design. It's just, from a gameplay perspective, it's frustrating. Because what... You either have to, like, not expand stuff in areas where it's really good to expand early, like in Kiev it'd be nice for us to build more buildings, or you have to do the play pattern of deleting buildings, like coming back and deleting buildings. I think this is probably the correct way to approach it, like, theoretically. But then you have to, like, think to yourself, okay, well, I'm gonna have this building 80 years, it's gonna be earning this margin by virtue of being here, and this is marginally 10% more than I could building in a different location. Will it pay for itself in 10 years off the margin before I have to delete the building, or no? And then, like, bro, my brain doesn't want to brain that hard, you know? You feel me, dog? Glass guilds. We don't have sand yet. Oh, they're so screwed. We don't even need to do anything. Goon Squad's got it. Building limit seems to make it impossible to get your present pop low. Yeah. This one, we already have a serfdom trend locked in. 0.5 of it is 0.05 of it is cruel, but virtues of Palatia may be an issue. Actually, what do we have? What's our alternative? You know, political dynasties might be better. Actually, the clergy one is probably the best. We don't need it right now, though, for a trend. Always sponsor university. I didn't even double check that we had innovative to push. I just assumed, but I assumed correct. We'll put this guy in charge because he is a crown character. Even though we're expecting to have our ruler die sometime soon. I guess you can help out. And then we kind of just try and take the entire region, I guess. So we can form Ruthenia. Not that forming Ruthenia is something we should even really rush, because it kind of doesn't matter. We do want to get on the UKR tag, though. Don't want that. Land focus we're kind of okay with right now, though. We could go for additional taxes or a CB on Halish. Let's do additional taxes within 5 years, probably go after Halish. Just because I don't know who hates our guts after this. Is this on hard? No, I don't play on hard because I feel like viewers assume that you're not playing on hard. And also they tend to play on the standard difficulties themselves, such that like it's like worse for content. But also like hard makes strategies different, so it makes you understand the game like differently too. Someone on Discord was like pointing this out a little bit. Like on hard, like you might not want to annex some, like you might want to keep subjects longer because The AI gets more pop growth, and this includes your subjects. So keeping subjects longer for more pop growth would make sense. And it's like, I mean, this is a vibe, I guess. Definitely play it on hard if you're gonna stream. I'm not sure I agree that the hard is seen as like the absolute standard, but maybe it is. Like in Civilization, people play on deity, right? The assumption deity is like the assumed, but I don't feel like it's like that with you know, yeah. We could go for this, or we could go for Annex Lithuania. Annex Lithuania might make more sense, because we get all their subjects for free. Instead of spending a bunch of antagonism annexing. And it looks like we could afford it. Alright. I think buildings should get more expensive and longer to build with each level instead of max level. Well, if you can go over the cap. It is a soft cap. This may be a theoretical leak for me. Like, at a certain point, you actually just care more about the building being in the right location instead of it costing, like, twice as much or something. I think malice to migration is also a problem with the building limit. You build over and you get a malice to migration. Well, that's to prevent you from just having, like, infinite peasants in a location. Is, like, you employ the peasants and then you build more stuff and you employ them more. Let's go here. Are we becoming Russia through the playthrough, or is this the end goal? A is just a number. No, we for the charity run we can't become Russia. Also, like Ruthenia is like tag. It's more to do with Ruthenia's tag being UKR, like internally in game, like they call it Ukraine, so we have to form Ukraine. Even though forming Russia would be better. I hate that higher difficulty just means more buffs in Paradox games. That's most games, though. Yeah, we'll just go for the full annex on him. Like, is there a game that handles it different? This is what we need. That guy's standing still, so I assume he's not loyal? Or not even a subject of ours. Oh, yes. Oh, we don't have any diplomats. Fair. Okay with hard, very hard, but I wish the discipline bonus wasn't there. Yeah, also, like, I think it, like, yeah, it changing, like, military balance is also weird. I'd rather just, have challenging runs or, like, self-imposed restrictions than play on hard or very hard. Do you know you can change the culture of this game? I know you can in EU4. I haven't tried in EU5. You definitely can. You definitely can. You have to jump through some hoops, but you can. Why is it better to bucket someone instead of straight up taking their capital? Follow-up, can you bucket a coastal capital? It's harder to bucket a coastal capital. But if you blockade it, you'll decrease control. You can bucket a coastal capital, and then when you blockade it, in a war, you'll decrease the control. You just have to, I guess, go out of your way to blockade it or get the maritime thing. But why is it better to bucket someone? They, like, took away the tooltip for this. I don't know why they took away the tooltip. So, there used to be a tooltip for, like, stuff that happens in each age, and they took it away. And I'm not a fan of this, but, like, or they took away all the bonuses. I don't think they took away all the bonuses. I think they just, like, completely bricked the tooltip in this beta. But, it's cheaper to take stuff, the less control someone has in a location. And when you bucket them, you deny proximity, which denies control. So that's why you want to bucket someone. And by bucket, this is not fully surrounding, but mostly surrounding their capital promise. So if we wanted to bucket Villainous, what we would do is we would, like, take this location, or we'd take this, and then, like, this too, and then all their proximity would have to trace around here to get to everywhere else. It makes it so it's cheaper to take stuff in subsequent wars, and also it makes them a lot weaker because they have poor proximity. So it makes them easier to fight in subsequent wars. Is Ukraine actually a formidable? Ruthenia is. Ruthenia is a formidable. Excuse me. Let's transfer this to Smolensk. Can't transfer it to ourselves, but if we transfer it to Smolensk, Smolensk will transfer it back. Just kidding. Or that was instant. So I do have to wait for this. Get a little bit of a breach. But yeah. For forming Ruthenia, we need this stuff. Yeah, it's not sure what to do with itself. I wonder how much this actually slows down the game, though. You creating more subjects creates, like, more entities. Thank you, we get to show off stuff now. Alright, we need more diplomats. $190. Do other people care? Some of them do. I don't think this is too bad. Now, how far are we? 60-some more locations. Okay. What we will do is, we will... actually check. Yeah, this is fine. Pskov is free. Interesting. Oh, they get an event. Yeah, that makes sense, maybe. We want to transfer locations. We gotta wait a couple months though. These guys not being loyal is maybe a problem. I think most guys will not be loyal right now. Us picking up the extra subjects actually drove it over the edge for like everyone. We have to support loyalists on them then. Let's first get our new ruler though. So this is why we went Veche succession. So we would be able to choose any ruler to invite them to be. It's unfortunate, if we had gotten this earlier, we could maybe have invited Novgorod to brick them out of the coalition effectively, but I don't think we would have done that unless their ruler is... Oh no, wait. You probably can't Veche succession a Veche succession guy. So we are looking for traits that are good. Or absolutely incredible stats, but I'm pretty sure we'd rather have the dev than a 100, 100, 100 guy. So we're mainly looking for this. And this guy's stats are outstanding. Alright. Praise be. Amir will lead our country. Amir of the Chobanids. Thank you. I think he's also Sinner. Sinner's kind of bad. We actually should have looked around for someone who wasn't a Sinner. Oh, hey look, now everyone's loyal again, because this guy's got a good stat line. Woohoo. We might have to hire some mercs. Just use levies for now, though. Oh, Halish is in there too. Who all joined this? What's the CB? Oh, this is the coalition. Unfortunate. Because we can only enforce on them, and we wanted to fight Halish soon anyways. Suppose this is kind of fine though. Nice that the coalition decks before a whole bunch of people join it, I suppose. We will learn to love him in time, naturally. We can, by the way, of course, this gentleman is, Mongolian. If we had Mongolian accepted in our country, we could flip Mongolian. For this. Actually, let's split these guys up. Actually, let's not. We're in H2. looking for someone. Prussia is probably fine. We want H2 units though. Crazy Levant doesn't have it considering that stuff originated there. Alright, so... oh, that's obnoxious. Alright, men-at-arms is fine. I don't want to hire guys out there, man. God, I can't march them over. I don't want to hire out of our area. Okay, Transylvania. Let's get a bunch of archers. Actually, what are we doing? We can just divide and conquer here. Actually... I think we want landholders, yeah. Noble estate satisfaction is generally harder to come by, and then we get to give out another peasant privilege without it negatively affecting serfdom push. Right? Yeah. This guy's fighting Golden Horde at the same time, it looks like. Free this stuff up. Is he... I wish there were more formals. I wish you could change some. Like, there's a way to create Transylvania unless you liberate them and then you can't play as them. Yeah, you can mod this stuff though if you really want. Grab this. That's a loud one. Oh, maybe we're supposed to split up. What succession law is he using again? Veche succession, which is unique to, you have to be like Slavic, East Slavic culture group. And it's allowing us to just pick and choose guys as we want. And what we want is development, so that's what we're gonna pick and choose every time. We are just going to 100% of the time get one of those guys now. Game plan is going to be to full annex. I think that guy was going for independence. Here. Let's get the granaries going. Now, with the granaries going, we can see all the new places. We can visually see all the new places. We gotta drop down a thing. I think we'll have one of these guys make paper. And then one of these guys make books. And then what do we have in this province? Kind of more of the same. Yes, tannery's expensive, or makes money, so let's go with that. Here you could do iron tools. And also this. Alright, what do we got? Do another tannery. Let's do another Paper Makers Guild. Not thrilling, not the worst. Relatively low control too, so I don't think we'll do anything over here, but here we'll do Spinners Guild. Yeah, just like not much control over there. Works. Unfortunate, like, yeah, coalitions are kind of handled in a weird way. Like, if you deck into the coalition, you can separate piece everyone. If you coalition decks on you, you can't separate piece anyone. I would love to be able to take, like, a mix and match of stuff, but only one war goal worth of stuff. But yeah, this is all we'll be able to take. We will just full annex them, though. Strange that this guy gets to be the war leader, but... grab a couple other things. Charles, do you think of setting a market in Cebu, the border of Wallachia? Border of Wallachia and Hungary, Cebu. I kind of like a market right here. Actually. The market here seems spectacular. Well, spectacular in the context. Within the context, spectacular. Like actual, just super, super good. You like want to be on top of premium RGOs, basically. And you're on top of premium RGOs and you're voiding the forest mountain tiles. So this actually is maybe even a better example than... We have been using Hargan as an example of like a market that splits two areas and is on rough terrain and ends up being a pretty good market. But like this, like, isn't a harder to place market area. But this actually looks really nice. The Iron Province of Cebu, up, it opens up 8 provinces. The Iron Province of Cebu. I don't know which Iron Province you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about this one. But I'm a huge fan of this. When are we gonna do a no vassal run? Probably when it stops being good. I mean... do people want to see a no vassal run? Wait, who's the... Oh, you're the war leader. What? That's not a... Cannot negotiate a separate peace to war with the coalition, CB? This isn't a separate peace, though. Wait, it was decked on the Golden Horde? Why the why am I defending the gold? What is this? Why is the Golden Horde... Oh my god. This is stupid. So we could actually end up giving up territory because the Golden Horde, and then the Golden Horde gets to... Bro. What is this? How do we have a coalition decked on Golden Horde and then we get invited? Oh my god, This guy... Because this guy's the Emir of the Chobanids? No. You're a tributary of them? I thought we got independence from them. Okay. No, okay, that's fine then, I guess. I was just very confused. I'm not confused anymore. It's my bad, I suppose. Other streamers do that already, and B, I get no value from it. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Probably still subject to the Golden Horde, yeah. Feels bad, man. That's my bad then. Very confused. There's so much, like, the other art does not push you towards the value, but the noble art pushes you towards aristocracy. Like, the design on the values is, like, inconsistent, because, like, on one hand, they say they want everything to be balanced, and on the other hand, like, it's super easy to push some values relative to the others, which implies that the other one's better, or should be. It's kind of nice. We actually would like influence. Oh, we have to exemption them if we want to pass this and get extra taxes. I think we'll just pass it. Okay. Wait, what? Where did our mercs go? Did we not have... Alright, whatever. My comment has nothing to do with the meta. I've just played 500 hours of EU5. I get it. Just boring to watch the subject expansion. Why is subject expansion so much more boring than owning the territory instead? I'm not sure. Just because people aren't I mean, they're just because I haven't been doing it, and it's a change of pace. We don't even have any control over there anyways. Do we have control on the sturdy grants? We don't. We do not. Did we not build a bailiff? think we want them on coal eventually. I think this will be good. Also, it doesn't matter if we don't have control in an area. Alright. I think that that's within Ruthenia. Yeah, it is. Transfer location. That. I think these guys... Oh, I thought we had good enough relations with them. I guess not, but we will soon. Us holding on to this additional territory makes us much bigger, like twice the size. So it makes it easier for us to have the is smaller modifier. We would not have had the is smaller modifier on this guy before, but now we do. And this guy is a huge modifier. Nice, nice. I have claims. No, he doesn't. The subject friends is an interesting challenge. Was asking if he would do something, not demanding that he should. Don't argue with meetup conversation. I mean, like, I would probably just expand a lot less. Because right now it, like, facilitates expansion, and it's like, otherwise you'd be throttled by the cab actions, probably force you to play taller. But I tried doing something, like, somewhat similar, with Egypt, where I was just gonna own only the one little bit, and like people didn't seem very into it. I'm paying for this one, I shouldn't be. We do want autonomous villages here. We have buffer, yeah. So I'm not sure if overall people are interested in it. I guess I don't really know. I think eventually we want higher feudal mercenary contracts. And those are the ones that are efficient. Inherited offices is also efficient. I don't know if we need to... We don't have enough ability to tax the nobles to even make use of it. Efficiency of cabinet 5% is nice. And... these guys are super unsatisfied. So actually try and push that up, and then because we're just gonna lose all this anyways, some new characters. That'll work. A little communication about what they would do with values would be nice. Yeah. I like, so, I just like, I don't even understand the plutocracy nerf. They got a fixed, attached allies taking over sieges. I think it's whoever is the best commander, which is kind of a weird metric. So, catch you later. See you, Paul. Yeah, I assume they'd give you control to you, if you want the territory, but you're the war leader. You could also right-click on the, like, territory name or whatever, to swap the siege, which I think you could do if your subject owns it. See. Around 50 more locations. I mean, we have most of what we need. What is this? They were a subject of ours. Alright. I wish you could have, like, one of the big buttons to, like, levy a large area. Instead, you gotta do it like that. Or some means by which to do it. We have a religious influence now, we can... do the things. We will go for the clergy, estate satisfaction, equilibrium, and monthly influence. Make these guys link up. Who's leading this? Okay. Hopefully we don't have to annex them. I know one of these is a little bit funky where it, like, doesn't let you maintain the status quo. I don't know if, I think it's this independence thing, so we either have to annex them or, like, let them become independent. I'm not sure if that includes this guy too. That's kind of frustrating if it does. You need to pay for it if you want to change the succession law. I think Merchant Republic Egypt would be a fun run, if that's even possible. Well, so the problem is that they have... I don't know how you deslot their major gov reform. It's not tied to monarchy. Like, getting out of being a monarchy doesn't break it, so... I'm not sure what you do. provinces of interest a thing? No, but you could kind of, which would be a nice feature. You can kind of see what the AI wants with the AI Conquest Desire map mode. I think they're occupying it, but I guess we could run up there. Oh, I forget the Chobanids have to defend us too, on the defensive wars. Because we're a personal union. Yeah, such a weird succession law, man. Egypt's position between Europe and Asia makes them a cool trading market. I agree. The other one we considered was so just owning one specific area. The best area in the game is probably Bengal, or sorry, not Bengal. And we thought about doing that as well. I don't know, eventually you get throttled on the upper limit by like max building levels, potentials, or whatever. Big Silesia? They do be big. Them's things be a thingin'. Hopefully these guys don't randomly abandon the siege. Sometimes they do that. I think we have some of these annexations going. Hey Charlemagne, thank you for the well wishes. Much appreciated. I didn't realize it was my affiliate anniversary. Until the stream started. It really took me this long to get... I can't remember when I started streaming on Twitch. What year? Obviously it was this day, but I'm trying to... I guess it was probably 1 year after I like popped off on YouTube, I guess. It's because Twitch had a non-compete thing that you couldn't stream multi-platform stream, and it wasn't until after they stopped having that, but... God, I hate that granted dependence is there. So if I white piece, does it go to status quo? I don't think it does. Okay, no it does. So all these guys who were subject stay subject. Okay, okay. Just wanted to check that. There needs to be rework on max building levels, it's far too limiting. I don't know if my issue is that it's limiting as much as it's, it seems like overly simplistic. I don't really like this system, but I don't have a suggestion for a better one. So I generally try not to, if I don't have a solution I think is better, I try not to complain about something too much. Okay, so God, I just want to play. I want to play Hungary right now and make this market so bad. This market looks so hot. It's like so perfect. It's so hot right now, Hansel. Okay, so we could grab some stuff too. I guess we let this finish so that they're willing to give up more stuff. This way we don't have to deal with all the overseas things. Not the grant independence button though, don't want to click that. Alright, so I believe Crimea is a releasable, so we'll go with that. Right? This is the first time I've ever seen Trebizond do good. Crimea is not a releasable? Or is it already around? Might already exist. Just put them in a bucket. Just actually the most obnoxious peace deal possible for Byzantium. What does that proximity look like? Yeah. They're in bad shape anyways. Not sure we need a CB on them. Not sure we really want to mix it up with Bulgaria either. We could just take one province though. I mean, we want to push down there eventually anyway. Wallachia into Romania. But would that be hot enough to replace Pest? And whatever Bulgaria does in the region? Well, typically they do the Tarnovo market. I think the Tarnovo market's poorly placed. Generally. But like also... the Pest markets also could be moved too. Oh no, if we were playing as Hungary... You also might be able to beat them to the punch. Oh, I'm super curious now. Let's save this for now. I want to see if, as Hungary, if you make that market at game start, if they don't make the Tarnovo market. Which would be really good for you. Because not only is the market good, I think the Tarnovo market should maybe be further north, though. Or closer to the coast. I was thinking moving Constantinople. Yeah, Constantinople goes to Smyrna. And then... The issue is this is a horrible dead zone. Okay, you can't do it immediately. But you can make it in Brasso. I didn't see if in that scrum if Tarnovo made a... Yeah, Tarnovo did make a market. Unfortunate. That's a bummer. You could make the AI wait a month, but that's like not to the benefit of the AI. I think they should have more markets though. If the AI, is using money at GameStart to make markets, you probably should just have different markets at GameStart. The AI absolutely should be doing that a little bit more. How much market access does Constantinople lose if you lose it to Smyrna? If you move it to Smyrna? So you can tell just by looking. Because you're not doing anything funky with the river, if you just look at the market and then you look at how much access Smyrna has, it's just that inverted. Right, so... Ugh, yikes. Is it really that bad? Holy shit. I don't remember it being that bad. These segments are cheaper for Smyrna to Constantinople than Constantinople to Smyrna, actually. Because the river... It's just not working, actually. Wait, what the hell? Okay. Have you done the math on whether market access is better on the good compared to control? And where the value points intersect? Better on the good relative to control. I'm not sure what you're asking me exactly. Control's more important than market access. It's not more important when it comes to RGOs. It's just equally important when it comes to RGOs. Okay, we wanted to make a peace deal here, though. That would give us something... I think it's more likely that we want territory in this kind of sphere. Okay, we have insurgents there. Oh, those are the churchy ones. Now this is what we want to kind of put down somehow. We'll see how the civil wars were going and make it easier. Satisfaction being 90 on the peasants helps out a lot, actually, though. Why the hell is it so high on the peasants? Are we just not taxing them? What's going on? Oh, we get extra loyalty because we have... Because we're a subject. We don't pay much for being a tributary. I guess it's kind of a lot now. It's probably not worth. Granularity in EU5 seems pretty insane. There's just like a lot of moving parts, yeah. Or also, yeah, like the going to this map mode. Where's the locations one? It's like, bruh, this is what we have. The argument almost always be to have market capitals on proximity sources, since the main prio is control maximization. It's often good to have those overlap. For RGOs specifically, it's the same. Not for other things. For production, you want your production to be in high control. It's not anywhere near as important for you to have it in high market access. Like, it's important to us that the location with the iron... It's more important to us that we get the production efficiency, for example, that from having the iron in the same province, than it is for it to be in high control. Because when we produce tools, we consume two opportunities. We use up iron, so this consumes up an opportunity given to us by having iron in the market. And we produce tools, and so this consumes an opportunity for which we have demand for tools in the market. So two of these are consumed. When you lack market access, you will input and output less goods by however much market access you lack. So you consume less of the two opportunities. Control, however, directly throttles the amount of tax base you get from the amount produced. So, you care that it's in a high control area, you care that it has market access, but not as much as you care that it has high control, because when you lack market access, you just don't produce as much, but you're not consuming opportunities. When you lack control, you're still consuming the opportunities. Yeah, sure, big dog? Yeah, basically. No, I mean, we should have broken free forever ago. That's, I guess, what we're doing next. We're so far over the limit. A little surprised at how upset these guys are. Because they really didn't like us giving out those privileges. Grab some market villages. We don't have any places that can make cities. Tons of pop in the capital. This place could make a city if we upgraded it. Do we have a cathedral in here? Let's close it. There's too many pops there already. I'd rather they go other places. Look at our tax base to try and figure out where has the buildings. A little bit. Or wealth level. I think the math cares about whether it's higher control, high or low control more. I think low control is actually better on the math. Do it in that place with iron and wool. For sure Kiev already has one, yeah. AI, for whatever reason, doesn't really like to build temples that, like they used to. Be more control for us. Bailiff's already helping out too. Well, what's the benefit for sticking a market capital in the mountains in Carpathians? The only logic I can see is it provides more to res to be brought to the market. So, the location whose terrain you care about is in reverse of the direction where the arrow's going. So the arrow's going away from Kiev. We care about the terrain in Kiev when doing the calculation for proximity. Market access, it moves in the other direction. So market access, you don't, when you're pushing access, you don't care what location you're pushing from. By virtue of putting it in the mountains forest, we do not have to push market access through the mountains forest. And instead we get access to the clearing down here, and relatively close access to the clearing over here. And then on top of that, with RGOs, if you have a building, your building, when you lack market access, just produces less stuff, and it consumes less stuff, so you forego an opportunity, right? With RGOs, you just straight up multiplier right across how much you get. And so, when you don't have good market access for RGOs, you just lose that value from tax base. In the long term, iron, you get a bunch of iron output bonuses. You get points, you get 66% and 75%, and so iron, like, effectively is closer to like a 7 value RGO, like, as time goes on, and you're just right in the middle of all this iron and this gold. The Mercury 2 tends to get expensive as the game wears on. Salt mine, 50% output. I didn't even realize that. You're relatively close to that salt mine. You're not very close to the gold and silver, but I think it's possible you want to move the pest market over here and make another market over here somewhere. But maybe not. But the idea is you don't pay from where you're pushing out from. But if your urban centers have low market access, that's largely irrelevant because the excess goods cannot be utilized due to lack of access. Sticking a local governor in the mountains kills procs. I would not stick a local governor here, I would stick a market here. I see the benefit for putting MC in low control, since it kills the ability to utilize, to my knowledge. You don't... If you just have a 70% or 80% in a bunch of your, urban locations, that's fine. Like, you would be able to have 70 and 80 here, in the farmlands, in the clearing, and be able to build industrial stuff there just fine, especially as you added some markets. And you'd be able to do the same down here, too. Going through, like, 2 locations of tough terrain. I guess not being on the river is kind of a vibe, though. Oh, that's another thing, is you get, going downstream from rivers, you get plus 50% right now. Which is stupid, because it should be the other way. Or, like, or the design intent seems to be for it to be caring about flowing the other way, so maybe this place would be even better, because this would be minus 50% cost in, like, as it goes down. Yeah, so here might be better. Here you're avoiding a forest mountain, though. So you would either want this on the very edge of the market or have your market right on top of it. If it's on the very edge of the market, you don't have to travel through it either, right? So that's the secondary thing. Here you don't have to travel through it. The problem is that this is a dead zone, typically. Typically you have very poor market access here. And it being a dead zone is a bit unfortunate because you have silver and gold. And the plus 50% salt mine is actually insane now that salt's high demand. And salt in general is really good. You could put a market right here. But then it would be kind of like bricked on the external here. It wouldn't be terrible. Here it just seems like it makes more sense. There might be another market like on the other side over here somewhere, where you can split it. The amber maybe. Kinda don't like going through the mountain forest though. Here you don't have to go through a mountain forest. You get what you're saying? Yeah. That's the one province I was talking about, the one that has 8 openings. The one that has 8 openings is iron. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, with the river it might be better. You might be right. Also kind of feeling being closer to the salt now. That I like. In the past, my brain has kind of filtered out the salt, but salt's actually really good. No, you might be right here. Because getting the minus 50% just going down is, like, spectacular. It just doesn't see the river, though. The river's just bricked. Yeah, for example, I make local governor in the plateau, on the river, and market there as well, making Translav its own eco-base. Translav. Well, you can offset your... Like, if there's a governor, the governor might go over here. Like, maybe the clay makes sense for the local governor. Or, like, in here, even. Like, on the horses or something. Wild game maybe even makes sense. The ability to build bailiffs is also a pretty big deal, because that means you'll get really high control. So this week's 100th Tinto Talk, any predictions, guys? Any big announcements, changes? I don't know. It seems like a good time to release the patch, though. It's easier to fix market access than control, at least in cities. Getting salty. Yeah, but the RGOs... The RGOs, you can't fix it as easily. You can build market villages, though. Okay. We have to get more spy network juice. Because the decay. We want to rake this back. So that we get more diplomats. So that we can do the thing, but... I was doing it in the wild game of the wine, between the mountains, not sure if best. For the governor. I'd probably do the wild game over the wine. For the governor. Wee woo. It's very nice we can just brick these at our own leisure by releasing subjects. Are we still way over? Yeah, we're still just ungodly over. I think part of that is us being a subject. We can also grab these bits of the Golden Horde. The Hordes just being ungodly weak is like... It's not necessarily bad, but it just feels weird. Can almost put in another tenant. This area is just so valuable. But like the terrain is so bad. Gotta do a Hungary run again soon. That was one of those ones we just did the starting steps for. I really want to get through all the tier 1 and tier 2 nations though. We added one completed to the list with Novgorod. I think we add a... Does this guy have cores? Yeah. Just checking. The fact that we have a leader perma with this makes it so us holding on to the territory is really not that bad. It's like, just gonna gain a decent chunk of prosperity. Or not a decent amount of development. And I think I'm underutilizing just holding on to stuff for the purposes of gaining more annexation speed. Kind of want to avoid it revving, but... Do you think diplomats or another source would be a better way for them to handle direct integration instead of cabinet actions? I mean, I think it's possible that annexing someone should take a cabinet action. I think if you made annexing someone take a cabinet action, you would slow down this minigame a lot. I think that also you shouldn't... I think annexation should be a lot faster, but this much smaller modifier shouldn't exist. It creates, like... There's weird... The incentive structure to have just, like, a million tiny subjects is just weird. And it feels really anti-RP. And I think I would rather the incentives to push you towards having bigger subjects. Like, I think it would be cooler if you were incentivized to have, like, subjects in an entire area, but right now you're not anywhere close to incentivized for that. Like, it would be nice for us to have a Lithuania subject, a White Ruthenia subject, a Severia subject, like this type of thing. I mean, part of it is also they just have less average control, too. So... but that would require changing the cabinet action economy. Also, FTR, I think Muscovy makes for a better Russia. The events are too good. What's FTR stand for? For the record? Over Novgorod? Or over Kiev? Well, like, do they require monarchy? Because, in my video, I didn't realize you could just swap on a Veche succession selection when I posted my video this morning. I thought that, it was locked behind Novgorod, but it's not locked behind Novgorod. It's on the culture. I think this is real good. Being able to just select a guy with architectural visionary and good stats every single ruler is insane. Like, it's going to be like a third of our flat dev is going to be coming from that. You know, 0.27 plus 0.0027, 0.001. That's what we'd have without it. Architectural visionary and extra 0.002. So... Novgorod also gets the equivalent of the Merindad division as well. Dev helps with proximity. Dev does help with proximity. Dev helps with proximity. Not a lot. Not like it used to. Once upon a time. Over Novgorod. Yeah. Since people are complaining about vassal spamming, you could try Tall Portugal. I was thinking about doing Tall Portugal. Hey Playmaker, how's it going? Found things about naval governor for naval governor in China, Spain. You just need an adjacent region, not even the capital. You just need adjacent region? Wait, what do you mean you just need adjacent region, not even the capital? You don't even need your capital in an adjacent... You just need to own an adjacent region to get a naval governor? Thank you for the affiliate anniversary. Much appreciated. Tall Portugal, but you can only conquer provinces north of Portugal in a line. I had an idea of doing this for Vic 3, doing Oregon, to have the longest Oregon possible. Hey guys, check out my Oregon. As in one own location in South China, naval and north. You just have to own one in adjacent... That seems silly. I mean, okay. That's what it is, that's what it is. That's stupid. You know what's really stupid is us daving Kiev for the RP. This is like not not a good province to dev. It's not big and it doesn't have crazy good RGOs. Hey George, how's it going? Playmaker, you might be able to make use of this. I don't know the traits that relate to conquest or this type of stuff that well, but this succession law is kind of insane. Veche selection lets you choose from any ruler, basically, a guy to invite. So we invited the guy who is in the Chobanids dynasty. And we invited him because he has this trait, Architectural Visionary. Right? If there's a trait that gives minus... I don't know of one, but if there's a trait that gives minus war score cost, you could perma-roll it. If you have the selection. How do you get it? It's on... I don't know if it requires a republic. I think it might. But it's on Slavic East Slavic. Forums tore out the AI Conquer calc today. Is it worth a read, IMO? Tore into the AI Conquer calc. Where the AI doesn't want to conquer anything. What was the TLDR? Worth a streamer read? Could you at me on the Discord with the link? Military can't choose to escalate wars because they think it's strategic. They have no right to make diplomatic decisions, neither does the president. That's why the presidents command an army. Diplomatic intel. Brother, we weren't even talking about Iran. There's a minus antag leader trait, good to know. By the time you can, like, flip... Unless you start out as Novgorod, by the time you can flip Culture and Republic, you might not care about Antag that much. But I was thinking it might be a minus war score cost one. Novgorod spammed the shit out of inviting my ruler. There's no cooldown or consequence for the AI asking for rulers. That's hilarious. I do not use Discord for privacy reasons. That's fair. Let's see. They say it's worth reading on the forums. This is really just a trap to get us to trap us in the forums. Okay. It's not even on... I don't see it on the front page. Did Urals break free? Perm starts free. Bots triggered by using the word leader and conquer. Not like this. I was just gonna say, like... I don't know. It's like, it's not germane, so just, like, talking about it like that's what we're talking about already, rather than talking about it like, oh, we're gonna introduce this topic, it's just like... You know? Doesn't quite work. Or, like, just seems a little off. It's not a problem, though. So Wednesday, not today, my bad. It was Wednesday. Oh, I'm not gonna go digging through the forums looking for it, I don't think. Is the main idea that AI is not aggressive enough or not aggressive in the right way? I mean, I think that they kind of showed to some extent the AI doesn't like to actually get more powerful. The AI, like, just cares about, like, how close stuff is to their borders. And if it's the same culture, language. Like, okay, here's the thing. The thing, like, you have a base amount. Okay, let's look at France's. Right, so France, we can look here. Conquer desire for this is like 11. They have a base amount. They want to conquer stuff for reasons of city, tax base, this type of thing. They care about if it's their culture. They care about, like, if it's core or what have you. I mean, here we can see a lot of stuff, why Bulgaria cares. But, like, for the most part, they, like, if you start getting far away from the capital, they just totally 100% don't give a shit about conquest. Like, this is basically entirely... where the distance from capital, like, multiplier is just, like, really big. I'm not sure that that's, like, yeah. What culture is your leader? He looks Mongolian. That's what a coincidence. He is Mongolian. Wee woo. That was what the post was about? Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm inclined to agree. The AI just doesn't care. I don't know if this updates as you get better, like, road tech, but it should. Like, even if they want to keep this... But the AI, like, just, like, as a human player, you recognize that doing this is good. And the AI has no idea, how, like, that this is good. Conquest is just, like... I'm actually disappointed how powerful Conquest is. You basically just, like, always want to be conquering. And, like, playing, like, Hypertall just, like, isn't... the systems that, like, tamp down on having, like, way too much stuff just, like, aren't effective, especially in the light of you being able to do kind of, like, nonsense with subjects. Did you culture or religion flip? Nope. We are still Orthodox, still Ruthenian. This is the Veche selection law, which allows you to basically just invite a ruler from any country. And we chose to invite the ruler of the Chobanids because the car was loud outside, but also the Chobanids, well, we didn't care about him being from the Chobanids, but we cared about this. We wanted the monthly dev. Is that ambulance for Quinine? Yeah, basically. Okay. Only real limiter is dip cap, and that's assuming you don't have the extra crown power? Yeah. The dip cap is kind of... Dip cap's also not that big a constraint. There was, like, a patch before release where dip cap was, like it really, like, it hard blocked you. Like, it was really a precious resource. And it made Bohemia, like, and France underwater at game start. And then people, myself included, complained about them being underwater at game start, but I was pretty... In the feedback I gave, I was like, I don't want it to, like, become hyper-free again, but, like, Bohemia's gotta, like... They shouldn't start out mega underwater. My suggestion was making it so that, they scale way faster, but the flat amount for subjects was a lot less. So the floor was a lot less. And so you having a bunch of OPMs would give you a much smaller number at the very bottom end. Right? But it just scale up like a lot faster. You know. And instead they like they rolled it back basically to when like the resource was super free, and it's been super free since. I think we do want to change a law. These guys are also a little unsatisfied with us. Can we not figure out what we wanted here? Oh, should have, in theory, waited for to get way more satisfaction on them before clicking that. Would have maybe get to click an additional thing. Do you want to move on to civil society? We can slot in another one of these. I think we like this. Prod efficiency in exchange for literacy. Literacy is pretty good this early though. I think that's one of the higher impact ones. Can this go over 100%? If we got over 100%, like significantly over 100% tax potential on these guys, because right now we have less, we're running less taxes on them. If we had significantly over 100, we could give out the estate privilege, which gives minus 100%, and still be able to tax them more. Which is kind of interesting. God, the UI to get into this just feels pretty bad. Let's go Diplo up. Quinine is out. Polymarket just went to 90%. Interesting. You're saying it's out because Polymarket? America's about to strike. You're a little behind on the news. Is ongoing. Should have put money on it. Strike's already happened. Missed it by an hour. Yeah. He's already dead. Presumed dead. I don't think it's been confirmed. Yeah. I mean, Polymarket's got issues in that people with, like, insider knowledge can bet on it. do be a vibe. So having these like 4 enclaves that aren't under our control is weird. Let's keep it moving along. Polymarket knows all. We must consult the polymarket. That'll give a little bit of pop growth. The new prophet, the oracle. You've heard of the oracle of Delhi, but have you heard of the oracle of Polymarket? Only a couple more months and we'll be able to get independence here. Imagine if we could threaten independence. Is there any chance we could click buttons? For the stab? Yeah, sure. Putin next. I think putting Putin's back against the wall like that is maybe not a good idea. Got nukes, yeah, basically. And Trump likes him. Trump likes him might be the bigger reason why it's not gonna happen. I feel like we should have more diplomats than this. But yeah. But even before the invasion of Ukraine, or the second one, I remember someone asking me, like, if you could have any one person, like, drop dead, like, who would it be? I was like, I know who I'm picking. The answer was Putin, by the way. Could wait to start another annexation. I think that's kind of what we want to do here. Just peel a couple months off here for the diplomats. Like actual 2 months. You're part of it? Yeah, they're part of everything, yeah. I think we'll just accept that culture. Yeah, we have plenty of space, and they're the same culture group as us. Quinine dead, or he fucked off to Russia. I mean, Polymarket says he's dead, according to the chat. That might be a little bit of a stretch of a game of telephone, though, huh? Chat says that Polymarket says is quite the Chat says that Polymarket says. Oh no. They improved our opinion. This tooltip is just this repeated. We'll just take the stab hit. Get him, Goon Squad. Gonna need access through this guy. I mean, that's all we want right now anyways, that plus independence. Poly's at 93, but only 31 million worth of action, so who knows? Could be anyone's game. Yeah, I kind of want to like switch over to watching the news and try and figure out what's going on. Is independence something we have to enforce? Or is it just us winning the war enforces independence? All my subjects get it too, I think, right? I guess not. GMA Filipino News says he's dead, so BBC says US confirmed him dead. Yeah. Not 100% sure. I trust the administration, but really embarrassing if to say someone's dead and then they make a video like 10 minutes later and be like, yo bros, still alive, can't catch me. So What happens now then? The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Nation building. Now we are stuck in a, like, stuck in a quagmire for another 2 decades, probably. Or we just hit it and quit it. I don't know. I think that, repeated destabilization of the region tends to be destabilizing. I don't know, though. I don't know the intricacies of the Iran situation. I think it's like, you could sometimes justify regime change. But... I don't know if just enforcing on them gets rid of the thing. We're just gonna check. We might want maps anyways, though. Looks like our maintenance is gone. So I assume we would be free. We probably want to grab some maps from them, though. Regime change is not happening. Is there a definition for regime change I'm not familiar with? I feel like if you remove the ruler intentionally, that you have changed the regime, no? Do we need to specifically install someone we want? A stooge? Is that how the definition works? Can't believe this costs so much war score. The government structure is not changing, I mean. Nobody has ever emerged from the ashes of post-regime change military action in that part of the world, surely. Surely. Russia condemns U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran as pre-planned and unprovoked act of armed aggression. Well... Yep. I mean, like... We had a deal in place that prevented them from getting nukes. And they, as far as I have heard, were willing to give concessions, although, like, I don't know the exact details of that. I thought we could have won that. Tragic. The goon squad still cleans up, though. We'll just move our guy back at this point. Irony doesn't exist, yeah. I always thought a regime change is changing the beliefs of the government along with the change. Will still be IRGC controlled. Okay, fair enough. Kind of new to the game. Shout out to the ambulance. I hope they get him. Patch up whoever they're going for. You give advice when it's appropriate to relocate the capital to the coast. For example, is Mali good? Mali's tough. Mali is tough. I'm not sure if you want a coastal capital of Mali or not. Mali's like a more complicated one, but often it's... You want your capital wherever you can get kind of the most control to the highest value locations as easily as possible, and the thing is naval propagation is generally really, really effective, so if you have a lot of stuff bordering the coast, generally you want to go for it. I don't know if the Shah 2.0 would work. Shah. We need 3, according to Dale. Didn't the US already destroy their enriched uranium last year? Yeah, they kind of... about that. I think Trump said something about putting them behind 2 decades or something. Almost like they just moved the uranium before we struck. Certain someone was angry that the deal was signed by Obama and unilaterally scrapped it. Yeah. No, I mean a certain someone also wants to wag the dog. To be fair, if you're in North Korea, this is another reinforcement on why you need to ensure the world knows you have nukes are the next thing you know. It's a US South Korean airstrike. Yeah, I mean, it's... Yes. Like, if you do not want to get messed with, the best, like, course of action is just to own nukes. I think we're just gonna peace out here because our goon squad's not gooning properly. You hate to see it. We thought we taught him better, but alas, poor York. Give it the 2 locations over. Kharkiv. Maybe we want to have these guys convert for us. They're not even loyal. We need 38 more locations. They were willing to give concessions on the nuclear enrichment, but not their ballistic missile program. Someone had told me that they were offering a better deal than what Obama had, but I don't know the details. Didn't we had another war, Pakistan versus Taliban? Yeah, wasn't that also in the news recently? Or I read something about Pakistan recently. I haven't checked into it though. Mali does not have enough good enough natural ports for a good coastal capital. Yeah, this is why Mali's more complicated. Why I was kind of like hemming and hawing a little bit is there's like one good natural harbor and it's right here. And like the value is really where the gold is. I think Niani is like also just a very solid capital to begin with. That's this gold right under the iron right here. I think it's the only location in the game that is gold and also farmlands. And farmlands, if you can get high enough dev on farmlands, you can actually get higher max RGO level, I believe, than you can if in urban rather than rural. So letting that be the capital, hosting the parliament there every time, deving it up to like infinity and getting a ton of pops with slave raiding and stuff, and you could just like actually be really strong. And it's oh, you can't see it, but I think they also get like a 50% gold bonus. New wars against Cuba? Wait, there's 2 wars today? Why is there 2 wars today? Oh, the irony? And Paki's harbored the Taliban for so many years? I so lack any information on it other than like I was really hoping yeah. I lack information to like comment in a substantive way. I think I'm not pleased though. Let's do this. We'll go for them soonish. It's probably a university. We're doing support the university for the 0.5 trend so that we can trend over 1 and push like 6 towards the innovative. Is buy one get one free at the US Department of War today? Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, like, the thing with Maduro is an act of war. Like, Venezuela just decided that they couldn't do anything about it. Which, I mean, I don't think that evaluation's wrong. We need another city so bad. Might have to go after Halish. Maybe that's what we do. I think they're part of this. So we actually only have to declare on this. And we would get a Lviv with which to put a regional capital. Which would help out a lot. There ain't much to know. There's an internet blackout. I mean, you could know more about the background information. I bought a few books on election information and this type of thing. This is what I wanted to read about, but I could read about Iran instead. I think I'm probably not going to read about Iran relatively. Like a couple 100-page books, or several books that are a few hundred pages, like this type of thing. At least from the outside, first Trump administration seemed much more isolationist, or at least interventionist. But now the second one has done what caused that? Well, the cabinet was like wildly different in the first Trump administration. There was a bunch of professionals, now there's a bunch of clowns. The clowns are worse. So we do prefer the clowns to the worse. Guess we'll just urbanize these. Do you read many westerns? Like western, like Bang Bang Wild West western? No, I don't read much non-fiction, or I don't read much fiction. It's almost exclusively non-fiction. He's trying the Israel-Russian strat of starting a war to extend their term. No, I mean, I think that, yes. And also to distract from the Epstein stuff, because, you know, he raped children. We have 3 annexations going. This guy urbanized all the lumber, dog. Why'd you do that? Why you urbanize all the lumber, dog? I'm not 100% sure it's wrong, but we'll annex him faster if it's not urbanized. And we probably don't like it. This one's maybe fine. It's in the same province as the iron. That'll make it much faster for us. Second one is very neo-imperialist, yeah. Remember when Trump was running on being the pro-peace ticket? Yeah, I mean, Trump says a lot of nonsense, though. Like, I don't think he's ever been, like, he's talked about, like, non-peaceful stuff before. Crazy that the clowns do more damage than the professional politicians. Well, I mean, like, the professional politicians at least cared if the ship sank. Like, you know? I think Trump only cares about, like, enriching himself, and, like, the administration just looks, like, wildly kleptocratic. Like, it's clearly and obviously the most corrupt, like, administration we've had in terms of dollars, like, shilled for. The Book of the End of the World is just beginning to make the claim that neo-imperialist stuff, like Cuba, will happen more regular. I didn't buy it when I read it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it gets... how probable it would have been without Trump. It's harder to say. think the next war we want to start is kind of a big war, though, here. I'm thinking maybe we leave it for next session. Log iron smelter is making decent amount. We're gonna put a couple of them on auto expand that are close to the capital. If we urbanize the bog iron smelter, the number of levels we can build goes down. So I think we won't turn on auto expand for the beeswax, because I think the beeswax eventually gets urbanized, because it's going to be good for... Well, we're deving the province, first of all. I guess that's actually sufficient reason. Let's just do this now. So we get more dudes. What can we do here? I'm not sure we'll have enough iron to do that. Shocked at how much tannery demand there is. Getting a little confused. We don't have any of these buildings. Guess people are maybe building a lot of armories. That's usually typically the highest demand thing for it. Even then, there's not that many in the market. Trump is definitely a catalyst. Yeah, I mean, like... Not that... I mean, Biden dropped out, but, like, if Biden got reelected, I don't think he bombs Iran. How does the MAGA movement cope with the files? I mean, people, I think, just dramatically in their, like, predictions about the world or in their attempt to represent the world, they just dramatically underrepresent the importance of confirmation bias. People will seek out information that they are interested in that helps to support their worldview, and then when they get it, they will stop looking for additional information. So, like, I don't think that they're, like, for me, like, the Jan 6, like, was more significant, and if they were going to turn on him for anything, it would have been that. I think, it'll be maybe a little insipid if, like, he goes down for, the Epstein Files stuff. Although, it's the type of stuff people find, like... He's done things that cause a lot more suffering than, like, the Epstein Files stuff because of the scale and scope of, like, what he's doing. But I think the Epstein Files stuff is going to cause way more disgust. So maybe he goes down for that. But just in terms of causing human suffering, it's not, like, the worst thing he's done. Like, But, like, in terms of disqualifying him to be president, like, I think Jan 6... The fact that they didn't turn on him in Jan 6, like, I just stopped trying to predict, be like, oh, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. But the idea with the confirmation bias is, like, it doesn't really... acting like the information needs to somehow be addressed instead of recognizing that information will come up to address it is the thing. Like the way that he gets turned on is if they get some other like figurehead. I guess if someone replaces him as like the head of MAGA. And it like right, they like having their strongman type figure, and so I think there would have to be another one rather than like, yeah. I usually migrate pops to a town to get to 30k so I can make a city depending on the market size. Happens pretty quick. It allows me to place the local governor. Is that not good? No, it's probably good. To be honest, we're probably underdoing that. That might be better than trying to specifically grab Lviv. In the past, I've found that cab action just, like, kind of not worth it, but maybe it is. Like, the trade-off is you can dev province instead for a while. So you have to compare it to the accumulation of some dev, I think. But the ability to put the governor down exactly where you want it way earlier actually is probably worth it. Wow, look at, like, how... the, like, line of difference between our dev and their dev is just so striking. Bro, we'll just pardon everyone involved in the Epstein files if it blows up. I mean, yeah. But I think the person was asking me, like, a different question. That was, like, more to the nature of, like, does Trump get consumed by MAGA? Or does, like, MAGA get rid of Trump or this type of thing? And I think it's, like, in response, and I think it's, like, the problem is, like, and this is not something that's unique to MAGA or Republicans whatsoever. The problem is we need people that are better at critical thinking and better at recognizing their biases and this type of thing. And we just, like, in the US, like, we need a smarter electorate. The other farmlands are over here. Hegseth's new MAGA leader? No, Hegseth's not charismatic enough. Well, actually, I don't even think Trump's that charismatic. No, I don't think it's Hegseth. I think it's... No, I don't think it's Hegseth. I have no idea who it would be. Like, there's no obvious error apparent to me. Like, I kind of don't think J.D. Vance either, but, like, J.D. Vance is maybe the most reasonable. Him or the Florida guy. His name slips my mind right now. DeSantis. That would be my guess. Critical thinking needs to be taught in school at an early age, absolutely. And also understanding statistics. God, there was some stat that that Fox News was reporting on. It was so stupid. I laughed so hard when they did it. Because I watch I lean left, so I consume mostly conservative news. And I was watching Fox, and like they, God, it was so stupid. They compared not the inflation itself, which is in itself a rate of change, but they compared the rate of change of inflation between Biden's first year and Trump's first year, and it was the stupidest comparison possible. So they were comparing not the inflation, but the rate at which inflation was changing, and it was like, Trump increased the rate of inflation by like a smaller amount, but it was the stupidest statistic like possible because it also just ignored the context of COVID, and like also like Trump reversed the trajectory of inflation coming down towards the later portion of Biden's tenure, and like then it comes back up, and like the argument is like, oh, we increased inflation by less as a percent, but not nominally, or something. Or wait, how is the nominal? Like, Biden's inflation rate percent change looked so much bigger because the inflation rate was smaller to begin with, like at the start of Biden's taking of office, I think, if I recall correctly. I'd have to take a closer look at it, but it's like you're grasping at straws with the statistics, like to report on like the rate of change of inflation, to try and like make it like be a thing. And then the people just like who want Trump to be doing better, it doesn't matter to them. The information, it just matters that they have a piece of information, because confirmation bias, and then you just stop looking for information. Vance's candidacy would be so funny. The guy has no internal value system, good or bad. He's just so empty. Like they knew what they were doing, presenting as Biden bad stat. At that point, what are the chances of them doing it on purpose? You mean not doing it on purpose? Like they knew what they were doing? Yes, very. Yes, very obviously they knew it. The entire point was to make Trump look bad or look good, and Biden look bad. But it's like nobody like. They reported very extensively on the job numbers when they were first released. They reported 0 on the jobs number adjustment, where it was adjusted down significantly. He's officially dead? Yeah. Good old mass market macroeconomic reporting is kind of impossible, IMO. Yeah, but like, you don't report on the rate of change of inflation. Like, the rate of change of a rate of change, like, is like you're grasping at straws if that's the thing. Yeah, the percentage change, if you go from 1 to 3% is 200%, but 3 to 5 is only 66% or whatever. Yeah, exactly. It was, I forget the exact numbers. I just remember it was like the most absurd thing possible. The public doesn't have enough basic economic literacy. If you wanted to have like a more lengthy reporting on it, you could, or you could report on like the flagship numbers, but reporting on the rate of change of like yeah, of it like makes no sense. I think we're gonna raid someone here though. I wanna try and catch up on the news. I don't know if I want to do that on stream, so I want to try and see what's going on a little bit better. So it's like, oh, I had a good laugh though. Let's see, is there anyone? This guy we rated before, World Conquest, continuing as attempt, continuing with Yuan. He's in 1500s now. I guess we'll throw him another raid. I don't think he talks very much, but this looks the most interesting in terms of premise based on the title. We'll also link it to the YouTubers in case they want to join up to fraternize with the Twitchers. I'd enjoy you reading News Live, to be honest. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do it like from an EU5 stream, like the transition from it. Maybe I stream politics tomorrow. EU YouTubers, basically. Thank you for the Prime subscription, DD Spottery. Much appreciated, my guy. But we will send the Twitch people out, and then we will say goodbye to the YouTubers. Oh, we finishing? Yeah. I wanna try and look at the news a little bit and try and see what's going on. Maybe we do just chatting tomorrow. If we do that though, for those of you on the YouTubers, we would do it through the other channel, the Ideas channel, rather than the Twitch channel. Anyways, take care.